Howdy and welcome back. This video is going to kind of be all over the place, but main concept, it's electrical, mostly. So the plan is a little junction post right there, which looks like this. Go figure. The goal, hook up the two wires from the alternator that need to go there. I'm waiting on the fuses for that, apparently a 40 amp and 120. So whatever. Hook the starter up to it, hook the battery up to it. I've got this thick ass 0 gauge wire. So there's that. What else do we got? I've gutted the interior all the way. We need to hook this up. This also needs to be hooked up to the battery. Need to, I believe, I can't remember now because it's been a while. One of these went to the alternator before. I'm pretty sure it covers the alternator light and something else, maybe the ignition, because the 1UZ alternator requires the, I believe, the ignition line, hey, keys switched on, and a light wire, whatever. So there's that. I also need to hook up the harness that goes around the dash. We'll see how it goes since I had to cut up the tunnel. Again, I don't know. There's plenty of other nuances, but it's mostly electrical. Also, I'm going to install this. The Fubar Racing little idler pulley or tensioner, because I tried, and I don't know where it went. I tried to use a stretchy belt and I just gave up real quick. I had no interest in fighting with that because I wanted to worry about the concept that if if it ever broke, okay, maybe I could get one locally, but then I had to fight with it. I just had no interest. So there's that. Oh, and the other non-electrical thing I need to do. Cartoon NZ, whatever. I'm going to go through, butcher this up. That covers most of it. We'll follow along as we go. Yada, yada. Let's hurry up. We got the little tensioner installed. I still have to fully tighten it down, but had this just kind of loose. It's got a bolt on bolt, or a nut and bolt. Pushed it up by hand. Used this bolt here to kind of hold it in place. I'll probably give it a quick little turn or two with a wrench. I am using a 4K 305 belt, also called a K040305. The 4K is the ribs, 305 is somehow the length. I mean, it doesn't really correlate to anything, but whatever. I would have liked to have used a 6K 6 rib belt, but there's nothing in the valley, so I have it on my Amazon list. I'll probably order it later. But really, 2 extra ribs for just running the alternator shouldn't matter. So I'm not too worried about it. And I also have it further in just to try and not cause any extra strain on the bearings, as I imagine it could. Also the tensioner, factory bolts, perfectly fine, snugged in. So yeah, initial perception, seems fine, seems hunky-dory. And I've got that junction post, whatever, mounted down. I used an Allen wrench, 6 bolt, whatever, and 1.0 thread. I got one with a hex head, so it kind of sits snugly in the mounting hole. I've only got one hole being used, and it's just tight as hell. I'll keep an eye on it. A lot of the electrical work in this car will be revisited when I pull the engine out for painting. If I don't pull the engine out beforehand for the drive shaft, rear end, things like that. So this is so far from complete status that I could end up redoing that, but we'll figure it out. It should be fine for now. With that said, we'll be back with probably electrical, but hell, I don't know. So a small little update, and also, you know, see if anyone can catch me before I make a big mistake. So my car used to be an externally regulated alternator. With the 3TC, I had a Saturn alternator in there, and I had it wired up somewhere off this. So now with the 1EZ, I looked up and I think I have it right. So the red wire should be going for my charge light, which is needed for that alternator. The ignition switch is also needed, and I believe the white wire is. And before, I had this hooked up to the battery, so the idea is that this, powering this, will still be running to a battery source, the junction post over there. And also the main battery wire will be running off that, because the wiring on this is not, it is not going to support the output that that alternator is going to do. So I think I have that, plus slowly again wiring up to snuff. Well, okay, not up to snuff, but hopefully functional. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Check back in a little bit. We are done with the engine bay wiring and the havoc between trying to tie in the 1EZ alternator and what I understand of how that wiring should be. 40 amp fuse, 120 amp. 120 amp is off of the alternator. 40 is for the sense, like for the alternator to know what the voltage is at. We have the starter wire, the main wire. Then we have a bunch of other wires there that range from, this used to go to the original alternator that then plugs in right there. I wasn't sure if I actually needed this, so I figured, well, it needs power, it seems, to go to the fuse block, so whatever. Also, in the old setup, these wires were powered via battery. Then I believe I have this correct: charge light, ignition switch. These are running to the plug over here, yellow and black and yellow. So, and before I even try to start it, these wires will be at least kind of tucked up a little better, so that way when it turns over it doesn't eat anything. But yeah, a lot of this will look better when I tape things up, but also permanently this needs to go. So I want to find a different solution, because one, it doesn't even, there's no good way unless I extend wires, but then it's just, yeah, it's not the best option. So I'm going to try and find a more modern block and wire things up without completely butchering. So there we go. Next up is the interior, and here's where I am at. I still have plenty of things to do. So I have the in body harness or whatever back in. I don't believe it's properly in, because I think that little bunch of wires there under this need to go higher up or something. It's running along there. That goes out to the engine bay. That needs to be plugged into a few things. So my goal in here, I'm not sure if I'm going to deal with the power steering column power yet. I think I still need to go pick up the computer for this. I'm not sure. I need to look up, because we got power ground here. Then guessing this is the controller that would go to the block. So we'll figure that out. But what I need to do is, this is the stuff that went to the dash and gauge cluster, if I recall correctly. This was turn signal stuff I had done before. What I need to do, find the wires that went to the steering column for the, for the key usage, because I want to try and be able to use this. Also, I need to turn signals, stuff like that, yada yada. So I need to try and wire that stuff up. At minimum, I'm just going to try and do this, because I'd like to start doing my testing with the key so I can get the 12 volt switched hooked up and get this, so on accessory on start. I want to get those hooked up. Everything else can probably wait. And also I need to get this hooked up, which is the wideband, or not wideband, CAN bus or whatever, for the O2 sensors. These connect to a little computer for it or whatever, and then that connects to the ECU. So yeah, I've got a few more things to do. Also, this is the ignition. Anyway, that's where we're at. Let's see what I can come back with. And we are back with more havoc, more poor choices, and more dread of working on someone else's project, which would be mine. The problem with this car is it's been through multiple phases. So, first thing, this is the starter relay cable thingy. And from some research, apparently I have long since lost a hookup for this that then went to the starter over on that side. So that would have made it easier for me to hook that wire up that goes to starter under there. I'm going to deal with that tomorrow because I need a battery and I'm going to have to go get a battery. I'm not trying to start anything, and it's going to have to wait till probably another video when I fix the throttle body. But we've got positive hooked up, negative hooked up with a lot of other negatives going there. That spot is where it's been running negative for a long time, so that's fine, or at least it should be. And with that, and if anyone knows how a good way to fix the fact that this hangs a little, although I might just readjust it, I don't know. Anyway, let me keep rambling. So I took this off the old steering column so that way I could limit the wiring I needed to do right now, because I am not sure if this one's going to be usable off the steering column, because the cable is like 24 millimeters or something. It's very thin. I did some looking. It sounds like some Yaris's had a lot of the power running through the gauge cluster. So I don't know. I'll have to research that more, but I'm hoping to try and turn this over sooner rather than later. So 12 volt, I forget what it's called, triggered or whatever. So I have that hooked up to the gauge power. The gauge power was long since gone because I had a tablet in here, and I believe that is powered when you put the car in the on position, not on, not accessory, but on or ignition. So I believe that is what is needed. I also took AVI2 from the wiring harness, hooked it up to the fuel level sensor. I'm hoping that works, but I might also have to find the ground wire specific to this and hook it into the harness. I don't know. But yeah, I think that's about everything. So, goal, when I come back here, battery, and we will hook it up. Hopefully things don't smoke. And then we will at least test the wiring there. Like, see find out which, because there's two black and white wires in here. From the relay or the schematic that you see on top of the car, black and white are what ran to the starter before. So one of them is going to be what I need. I'll get someone out here, put a multimeter on it, see when I get signal, or which one gives me signal when trying to turn the car on. So yeah, good times are coming. I rambled, and all I'm hoping to do in this video is get, oh, and I didn't show that, get the Haltech to turn on. If I could, there we go. Haltech. I've also got the wide man hooked up. It's wired, power coming off of the ECU power. I will probably redo that later, I don't know, but that's what the instructions say. And I have the negative going back there to the main negative. So it looks like crap. All of it looks like crap. Right now, the goal is just to get the ECU to turn on, see if I can start detecting things, sensors, or, well, yeah, sensors, see if I can trigger anything. Because I also don't know if anything works. I mean, it'd just be nice to find out where we're at. So we'll be back. And we're back. We're about to find out how screwed things are, or if things are good, because I don't know on either front. But we're going to start with positive, and then let's listen for things going wrong. Okay. I hear nothing. Nothing. Okay, well, let's walk around and find out. I mean, there's no spark, so that's amazingly good. Okay, yeah. Do I even have the keys around here? I don't think I do. Oh, let's get a screwdriver. I don't know what to expect, but first we're gonna not have it point at my gut. We're gonna see if the ECU lights up. Well, I don't think I have life. So, time to reevaluate because I do not see any power at the Elite. So I guess let me revisit. So I found out there's one plug I did not hook up back up there into the main little junction box. It had two battery sources or wires. So here's to hoping I don't break anything. Let's listen. Okay, got nothing yet. Here's to hoping, because I have no clue. Right now, we're just gonna listen for clicks, and I'm gonna keep an eye on the ECU. Okay. Accessory. On. We have fuel pump. And we have power on the ECU. We have life. So, at least initial, all seems good. I didn't hear any clicking just by plugging in the battery. Nothing appears to be smoking up here. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna grab my laptop, get it hooked up, and we'll go from there. Just because that'll take me a minute. Hooray! Let's see what happens. Plugged in. It dinged. I don't know what to expect. So we're gonna walk through this slowly. Connect. Oh, there's life. Ooh, it found something. Oh boy. Preparing map for display. Let us just go full screen on this. Okay. Air temp, coolant temp sensor. Holy shit, that's probably right. 88. Injector angle, battery. Huh? Well, let's I don't know if anything else is really gonna work. But we have life. We know the fuel pump tried to kick on. I've still got things to change that I know I need to change. Fuel level sensor. There's a couple other things I can't remember now. But, oh yeah, like oil pressure. Wait, let's look. Yeah, I've still got to set oil pressure on AVI 3, oil temp on AVI 4. Fan trigger will be on DP04 or DP04, whatever. Fuel level, maybe AVI 2, but I'm going to have to investigate that. But the premise has life. It is showing. I don't know how much it works, and I don't know how much more is really worth showing. Manifold pressure, well, I've got nothing hooked up, so I'm going to guess for now that's fine. I don't have a throttle position sensor hooked up. Yeah, nothing. But I have life, and in a little bit on my own, I think I'm gonna go that way and put the laptop up there so I don't have to sit here in here. So yeah, I am happy. It is very promising. This video is done. Electrical basics are in place. The rest is me trying to figure out, okay, am I missing something? Is something not working? You know, troubleshooting, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. Thanks for following along with me on this Havoc. Have a good day. Bye-bye.